Portland is in the grips of a housing crisis. Now, about 3 weeks ago, this council received the Housing Bureau's report on the state of housing in Portland for the year 2022. The take-home lesson of that report was clear. The cost of housing in Portland is too damn high. That report showed that in 2022, the average black family in Portland could not afford to buy a home in any of our city's 95 neighborhoods. In 2022, the average Latino family in Portland could not afford to buy a home in any of our city's 95 neighborhoods. And the average Native American family in Portland could not afford to buy a home in any of our city's 95 neighborhoods. Further, the average senior household in Portland could not afford to buy a home in any of our city's 95 neighborhoods. Further, the average household headed by a single mother could not afford to buy a home in any of Portland's 95 neighborhoods. And there is more bad news. The average immigrant household in Portland cannot afford to buy a home in any of Portland's 95 neighborhoods. To summarize, the average low-income family in Portland cannot afford to buy a home in Portland. The trend here is clear. Unless this council takes action on our housing crisis soon, Portland will be reduced to being an enclave for the wealthy. The challenge here is clear. Portland must produce more housing. The solution to Portland's housing crisis is also clear. Broadly speaking, this council has two tools that we can use to address this housing crisis. First, we can provide direct subsidies for the construction of new housing. Subsidizing homes for our most vulnerable neighbors is the right thing to do, and we should do more of that. However, this council should also recognize that we cannot spend our way out of this housing crisis. The magnitude of this crisis is just too large. That, unfortunately, is very, very bad news. But there is also some good news. This council has a second set of tools which we can use to stimulate home building here in Portland. Those tools are relatively cheap and they have the potential to produce more housing than we can produce through subsidies. This second set of tools at our disposal basically boils down to passing policies that make it cheaper and easier to build new housing here in Portland. I support this ordinance today because it does just that. This ordinance takes a small but significant step towards making it easier and cheaper to build homes in Portland. That's why I'm proud to co-sponsor this ordinance, and that's why I have directed the city's public works bureaus to lean into the effort to make Portland a great place to build a home and raise a family. And now, Presiding Officer Ryan, I will hand the floor to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mapps, and it's good to see everyone. I must say it was the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, when Director